Alright guys, in this video, I'm going to go over exactly how I got my dream physique. And I did this while working a full-time job. I didn't spend more than 6 hours a week in the gym, I didn't spend endless hours in the kitchen meal prepping, and I still had a social life and I still got to eat my favorite foods. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Alright, this is how I built my dream body while having a full-time job and having a social life, by using macro manipulation and the win method. And I didn't sacrifice my favorite foods, I didn't go to the gym more than 4 times a week, and I didn't revolve my entire life around fitness. And through the win method, my workouts were capped at 3 to 4 times per week. I prioritized intentional hard reps over junk volume, and I utilized a non-perfection approach. Now, first of all, who am I? Hi, my name is Brandon, and as a kid, I loved to eat. I wasn't very active, I was very chubby, and I absolutely hated it. I was also super insecure about my weight, and this is what I looked like when I was 13. I was almost 175 pounds. Yikes. And I was overweight, insecure, and I just hated how I looked in the mirror. So at 15, I decided to lose fat and start my fitness journey. But the thing was, I didn't know anything about macros, training splits, or progressive overload. I just knew that I needed to eat less and move more. And after doing some researching, I realized that I needed to be in a calorie deficit. So I focused on eating fewer calories than I burned. And it worked. I was able to lose 30 pounds in 5 months. But the thing was, I wasn't lifting weights, so I lost fat, but I still didn't build any muscle. And it wasn't until years later that I learned how to do it the right way. So in the beginning of 2021, I still looked soft, skinny fat, and I didn't really have a lot of muscle. But then towards the end of 2021, something finally clicked for me. And it wasn't just about building muscle, it was about how I felt. I was tired of looking in the mirror and still not liking what I saw, feeling smaller and less confident than my friends, thinking that they were stronger, cooler, more attractive than me, and just not feeling confident in my own skin. And I was just not feeling like I was becoming the man that I wanted to be. So on the outside, everything looked fine, but internally, I was just super frustrated with myself. I had lost the weight, but I didn't feel strong. I still didn't feel powerful. I still didn't feel confident. And that insecurity really started to eat at me. And that's when I realized that fat loss wasn't enough for me. I didn't just want to be smaller. I wanted to build presence, strength, confidence, and identity. And that's what actually pushed me into the gym for the first time seriously. Not just to lose weight, but to actually build something. And that changed everything. Because I built a real physique that I was proud of, and I packed on real muscle. I became stronger than I had ever been. I looked better than ever. But more importantly, I gained confidence, and I became that 2.0 version of myself. And I was finally starting to respect the guy that was looking back at me in the mirror. And all of this just completely elevated my identity, my alignment, and my confidence. I stopped trying to get in shape and became the kind of man who trains, eats well, and keeps promises to himself. And my body, habits, and lifestyle finally matched the ambition I've always had inside. Now I'm so confident that I can freely take off my shirt at the beach or pool knowing I worked hard to get to where I am. And my fitness journey got me here. From a fat kid who struggled with confidence to a man that has now conquered his mind, learned how to be disciplined, and handle any challenge that may come his way in the future. And this is the system that changed everything. The first part of this is macro manipulation. So I don't eliminate my favorite foods. I control calories and I prioritize protein. That's how I built muscle, stay lean, and still live my life without extremes. The second part of this is the win method. The W stands for workout cap, and I cap it to 3 to 4 days max. I learned that more gym time does not equal more results. So I capped training to 3 to 4 focus sessions per week so fitness actually supported my life, not consume it. The I is intentional hard reps. I didn't do any junk volume. I didn't do endless exercises. I only focused on progressive overload, quality reps, and real intensity. And by real intensity, I mean most of my reps were within 1 to 2 reps of failure. I trained with purpose, not ego. Finally, the N stands for non-perfection. The thing I've learned is that trying to strive for perfection will just burn you out. If you're consistent 80 to 90% of the time and leave yourself some leeway, then that's way more sustainable and you can do that for way longer and it'll get you even closer to your goals. One cheat meal or one missed workout will not ruin your progress. Quitting does. And here are some bonus tips. I track what actually matters. I track my calories or portions, protein, and performance on key lifts. I ignore the noise. I focus on leverage. And I also plan my life into the system. The thing I realize is that social events are not cheats. Now whenever I'm going out to dinner or I have a social gathering, I just adjust earlier meals, I budget calories, and then I can enjoy dinner or that social gathering guilt-free. Fitness should support your life. You don't need to sacrifice your life for the gym. And finally, I've learned that your environment will beat your willpower every single time. I've learned to make the good habits automatic. This reduces my decision fatigue and it removes friction. Now, I have something for you. Here's the deal. What you're missing isn't knowledge. It's structure, accountability, and a system that actually fits your life. What if you could install the right habits, train with intention, and finally become that 2.0 version of yourself without turning fitness into a second job? This changes more than your body. It changes who you are. Now, this is for you if you want to become your 2.0. You're tired of living below your potential and you want your body to reflect your ambition and you want to become more confident than ever. You value structure over motivation. You understand that discipline comes from systems, not hype. You're tired of restarting. You don't want another short burst of progress. You want consistency that lasts years. You want alignment. You want your habits, physique, and lifestyle to finally match who you know you can be. And you're willing to execute 80 to 90% of the time. You don't chase perfection. You only show up consistently. And finally, if you are coachable, you're open to feedback, adjustments, and doing what actually works. This is not for you if you're looking for a shortcut. Real transformation takes months, not weeks or days. If you have shiny object syndrome and you want to try every new trend instead of mastering the fundamentals, then this is not for you. You're not willing to prioritize yourself. If your health always comes last, nothing will change. You are obsessed with perfection. We focus on consistency, not perfection, not extremes. This is not for you if you're uncomfortable with accountability. Growth requires honesty and standards. And finally, this is not for you if you are ego-driven. If you can't take constructive feedback, you won't evolve and you won't grow. Now, the thing is, this is why you're not where you want to be. You don't have a structure. You don't lack motivation. You lack a repeatable system. You've been jumping between plans, trying to optimize and relying on bursts of discipline instead of installing habits that actually run automatically. You're overcomplicating training. You don't need 15 exercises in a single session or 2-hour sessions. You need intensity, progressive overload, and a few movement patterns done well. More volume is not the answer. Better execution is. You have no strategy around nutrition. You don't need a restrictive diet. You need calorie awareness, protein consistency, and simple meal prep that actually fits your life. Without tracking what matters and adjusting week to week, your progress will stall and you will plateau. You don't have accountability. You've had plans, but no one has actually made sure that you executed. Now, the thing is, accountability is not someone yelling at you. It's someone tracking your data, adjusting your plan, calling out your BS and your excuses, and holding you to the standard you say you want. Now, here's the truth. You don't need more information. You need implementation. You've watched the videos. You've saved the workouts. You've tried so many plans. But information without structure will not change your identity. The thing is, most coaches will never teach you how to adjust when progress slows, how to handle social events, how to train with real intensity, and how to build discipline that lasts. And we prioritize systems over motivation. We'll build simple, repeatable habits, train 3 to 4 days with intention, track calories intelligently and strategically, and meal prep in under 2 hours a week. And we'll also adjust weekly based on data. We also prioritize strategy over extremes. No crash diets, no endless cardio, no 12-hour gym weeks, just the fundamentals executed well, 80 to 90% of the time. We also prioritize identity over short-term results. The goal isn't just fat loss. It's becoming someone who keeps promises to themselves and doesn't restart every few months, and is about becoming someone who feels aligned and confident. Now, here are the 6 pillars that align your body with your ambition. The first one is identity and standards. The thing is that motivation fades, discipline fluctuates, identity is what will last. If you still see yourself as the inconsistent guy or the person who never starts or the person who always restarts, you will unconsciously act like it, no matter how good the plan is. This is about shifting from I'm trying to get in shape to I'm someone who trains, eats with intention, and keeps promises to themselves. I will help you focus on eliminating self-sabotage patterns, raising personal standards, and building habits that reinforce your new identity. Because once identity shifts, execution just becomes natural and automatic, not forced. The next pillar is precision training. If you hate your workouts, you won't stick to them. If the program doesn't fit your schedule, you'll fall off. If you're just doing random exercises that don't suit your body, you'll burn out. We don't chase volume. We chase progression. That means 3 to 4 focus sessions per week under 6 hours total, progressive overload, and movement patterns that feel right for your structure and your body. When training fits your life and feels productive, consistency just becomes natural and automatic. 3, nutrition systems that work. Most people fail because their diet is just unsustainable. They go extreme, they cut really hard, or they have a really restrictive diet, they burn out, they binge. they feel guilty, and then they restart. Now, to avoid that, we're not going to eliminate your favorite foods. We're going to build awareness and control. You're going to learn calorie awareness without obsession, protein consistency, meal prep systems, and how to plan ahead for social events and family gatherings. Fitness should integrate and fit into your lifestyle, not isolate you from it, and it should not make you feel super anxious or stressed every single time you go out to eat. When nutrition is simple, progress becomes predictable. You'll also get meal plans and templates that fit your lifestyle and dietary preferences. 4. Growth environment. Trying to transform alone is exhausting. You have no feedback, no support, and no one to call you out when you slip up. And that's when the doubt creeps in. Accountability is not about pressure. It's about structure. When you surround yourself with other ambitious people who value discipline, share similar struggles, and push each other forward, you stop feeling isolated and progress accelerates because no one thrives in isolation. 5. Structured accountability. Without accountability, it's easy to say to yourself, I'll just skip today. I'll just start on Monday. It's fine, I'll make up for it. And that's how the cycle continues. We remove guessing and drifting. We're going to track your training performance, calories and weekly adjustments, and execution consistency. When someone is watching the data and adjusting your plan, you're not going to spiral when progress slows. You stay steady, you adjust, you adapt, you make small changes, and you win. Finally, 6. Direct mentorship from me. Information is not the problem. Implementation is. You don't need another YouTube video. You need someone who will see your blind spots, adjust when progress stalls, calls out your ego, and guides you through plateaus. You get real strategy, real feedback, real correction, because transformation isn't just about knowing what to do. It's about executing it consistently and evolving when necessary. Now, to summarize, this is our 6-step process for your transformation. 1. Identity and standards. 2. Precision training. 3. Nutrition systems that work. 4. Growth environment. 5. Structured accountability. And finally, 6. Direct mentorship from me. Now, here are the next steps. If you're ready to transform your physique and be that 2.0 version of yourself that you know you're meant to be, then book in a call with me and I'll see if you're a good fit for the program. I'll leave the booking link in the description and I look forward to meeting you.